Hey y'all, back with another video. Thanks for tuning in and welcome to my channel. Today we're gonna go over how, ignore my kids, they loud, I don't know, Lord Jesus. Today we're gonna go over how I transform this regular black 20-ounce tumbler into another custom ombre tumbler. Also, as I stated in my previous tutorial, this will be a more in-depth tutorial. We'll go more into detail as far as the steps. So if you're like me, a hands-on learner, this is the tutorial for you. So just stay tuned. Let's get right into this video. Okay, so to start off, I always spray paint my cups a base color. This cup is going to be red and white. And in the top corner there, I show you how I add tape to the inside rim of the cups before I spray paint them to prevent getting the paint on the inside. After adding on the white spray paint, I'm going to go ahead and get the red to apply it to the top. And I usually do about 2 to 3 coats. This is typically enough. You don't want too much spray paint because it will begin to drip and that will show up under your glitter. I then let my spray paint dry for about 30 to 45 minutes while it's turning, just in case it does try to drip, because it will try you. So if you haven't already caught it, I did spray paint this cup wrong. It was supposed to be white on the top and red on the bottom, but I did fix it off of camera and this is how it should look. Okay, so I found some new epoxy on Amazon. This is Puduo, however you say it. So we're gonna see how that one works. I already have part A poured in here and I'm just using a little bit because this is the first layer and we want it really thin so the glitter does not drip. And we're just gonna make sure part B has the exact same amount. And then we're just going to take both parts and mix them in a separate container. And I always line my table with newspaper. I don't want the epoxy getting everywhere, but I'm gonna scrape out as much as you can. Mix it for about 2 minutes. The epoxy has been mixed and now we can go ahead and add it to the tumbler. Once again, this layer of epoxy should be very thin. It's basically acting as a glue for the glitter, so you don't need it to be too thick. If it is, it will start to drip and it'll make your glitter drip and it won't be good. Quick disclaimer, I did not like that new epoxy at all that I was trying out. It did not stick to my cups, it was just running off. So I went back to what I always use, which is the Alumilite clear cast. It's never given me any issues, so I will be using that for the rest of the tutorial. After it's been spinning for about 5 minutes, it should be smooth enough and ready to go ahead and apply the glitter. And I use regular parchment paper that I get from the grocery store under my cups when I apply my glitter. This is just an easier way to catch the glitter so that once you emptied out the container, you can go ahead and pour it back in. It's a way to save your glitter. I lightly pour on the glitter and as you can see, I don't know what's going on with the angle of my hand here, but I pour on the glitter and I usually do about 3 to 4 coats. This is just to make sure that it looks pretty and it's glittery and you can see it. So I finally get that parchment paper out of the pack. I take it under the tumbler and begin to add the white glitter. And just like in my previous tutorial, I'm going to leave that space between the white and the red. And this is for ombre tumblers, so I have that space to create the ombre effect. I can now begin to add the ombre to the middle of the tumbler here. And what I do, I just take both colors. I take a little bit of the red glitter and then I'm going to take a little bit of the white glitter, mix them together in a separate container to create that ombre color. and then I'll sprinkle it over the top of the cup but onto the middle. Once I'm finished with the ombre and I'm happy with the way it looks, I'll let that spin and dry for about 2 hours. Then we'll head outside because I'm going to now use the acrylic and it's very strong. So I always do this outside and I just spray the entire tumbler. This is to seal the glitter and to make sure that it does not move. And this is really important with ombre tumblers just because you do not want that ombre to mess up while you're adding the epoxy. After the acrylic has dried on the tumbler for about 45 minutes, I'm going to mix some more epoxy and apply it to the tumbler. A lot of people you may see use brushes to apply their epoxy, but I like to use my finger just because I can feel where the glitter still is, I can feel the roughness, and I can feel where I need to add more epoxy. Once I apply the epoxy, I'm going to grab the heat gun, and this will get the small bubbles from under the epoxy. You just want to make sure that you don't have it too close to the tumbler and that you move quickly because it will start to melt the epoxy. Now that the tumbler is completely covered in epoxy, I'll let it spin for another 2 hours. This is just to let the epoxy get tacky and to prevent it from dripping when we let it sit for 10 to 12 hours sitting still. After we let it sit for that 10 to 12 hours, then we can begin the process of applying decals. So I hope you guys enjoyed part 1. Be on the lookout for part 2 where we will be adding the decals and final touches to the tumbler. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave me a sweet comment down below, and I will see you guys on my next video.